Here's why you might be breathing wrong. Breathing and posture matter so much if you are dealing with any complex chronic illness, especially ones that include any neurological or nervous system dysregulation related symptoms, which, let's be honest, is all of them. Chronic illness and nervous system dysregulation inherently come together. A body stuck with chronic symptoms is a body stuck in a state of hypervigilance, constantly scanning for danger. And here's what most people don't realize. One of the fastest ways to access and reset the nervous system is through our breath. So let's start with understanding the diaphragm. The diaphragm is the body's primary breathing muscle. It is a dome-shaped sheet of muscle that separates your chest cavity from your abdominal cavity. On an inhale, it's going to contract and flatten, which pulls air deep into the lungs. And on an exhale, it relaxes and rises back up, helping push the air out. But the diaphragm does so much more than move air. It's directly connected to our vagus nerve, the nerve that governs our entire parasympathetic nervous system, which you may know as our rest and digest state. This is the state we want to be in for healing and recovery. So every time we do deep diaphragmatic breathing, it gently stimulates the vagus nerve and sends a signal of safety throughout the whole body. This means you're going to have better digestion, stronger immunity, more regulated emotions, and reduced inflammation. And the diaphragm also has a close relationship with the psoas muscle. This is one of the deepest stabilizer muscles in the body. It's connected to the hips and the core, so it connects the bottom and top halves of our body together. And when we do stressful, shallow breathing, we are stuck usually in a state of unresolved trauma. And this locks the diaphragm and the psoas into tension, which creates a lot of the back pain, pelvic pain, hip instability, anxiety, and this constant feeling of being on edge, feeling like you could be getting up and ready to run at any moment. That's from this tension between the diaphragm being locked up and the psoas muscle being tight. Now, let's talk about why posture and breath go hand in hand. It is related to the fact that the psoas muscle gets contracted and we start to have a collapsed posterior chain. So when the posterior chain, which is the muscles all along the back of the body, are weak, the chest is going to collapse forward, the head is going to jut out, and the muscles between the ribs are not going to be able to expand fully. This limits the ability of the diaphragm to fully expand with each breath, and it reinforces our shallow chest breathing. It also keeps the nervous system stuck in fight or flight. But when the back of our body is strong and our posture is upright and our ankles, hips, rib cage, and head are all aligned with each other, this is where the diaphragm has the space to work properly and expand fully. Our breath will naturally become deeper, calmer, and more restorative. So let's talk about breathing mechanics. Most of us with nervous system dysregulation and chronic illness are engaged in that shallow chest breathing, right? And you can tell that this is happening. Look in the mirror. Every time you breathe, your shoulders lift and your neck tenses, and you're only expanding in the upper rib cage. This closes up the parts of the lungs where oxygen exchange is most efficient, and that's going to reinforce the anxiety, the poor oxygenation, the poor nitric oxide production that is associated with stubborn chronic illness. So diaphragmatic breathing is going to promote the opposite. When the diaphragm contracts and the belly rises, the shoulders will stay relaxed and the air will fill the lower lungs. And so again, look in the mirror. Can you keep your shoulders relaxed and your neck relaxed while you're breathing and just see movement in your belly and your lower ribs? This kind of breathing is what's going to slow your heart rate, regulate your blood pressure, improve your digestion, and increase heart rate variability, which is known to be one of the best indicators of nervous system resilience. Now, another key piece is whether you're breathing through the mouth or the nose. Mouth breathing is essentially a stress signal to the body. So think about an animal that's panting. That's essentially what you're doing when you're mouth breathing. It's going to bypass your body's natural filtration system in the sinuses, lower your nitric oxide, decrease your oxygen efficiency, and activate your sympathetic nervous system, which is that fight or flight response. So we only mouth breathe when we're stressed, and if we're stuck in that pattern, it's going to give this feedback loop signal to the brain. So what can you do to correct all of this? First of all, start with just a simple 4-1-6 breath pattern. Researchers and clinicians have shown that people who are in a generally calm and regulated state in their nervous system start to default to a breath pattern of 4-1-6. That means you're inhaling through your nose for 4 counts, holding naturally for about 1 count, and exhaling for about 6 counts. So the slightly longer exhale tells your body that it's safe, and it shifts you into more parasympathetic, that calm, rest, and digest dominance, and helps to reset your stress response. And I really want you to hear this. Even though I'm giving you these specifics, breathing is not just a mechanical exercise to practice. This is actually a spiritual practice. So across cultures all over the world, breath has been recognized as a way to access our life force. It's called prana, or ki in Eastern traditions, and in Western Judeo-Christian traditions, we talk about the breath of life all the time. Modern neuroscience is now confirming what these traditions have always known. Slow, rhythmic breathing doesn't just calm the body, it changes our brainwave patterns, it increases vagal tone, and actually expands our consciousness. Conscious breath will connect you to your very life force, which we often don't have access to when we have been ill for a long time. So this is why breath and our posture matter so much when we're working to recover from chronic illness. They're a foundation for regulating the nervous system, and it's only when the nervous system feels safe that the body can finally start to detoxify, repair, and heal. So don't underestimate this piece of your puzzle. Healing is not just what you eat or the supplements you take. It begins with the basic. Is your posture upright? Are you breathing into your diaphragm? Are you creating the foundation for nervous system safety? From there, everything else has the chance to actually work better. We talk about this a lot in our subscription programs, so come over to wholebodyhealingwithjen.com and let's work on this together.